Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Brews with Brian, a craft beer review podcast. Craft beer is beer that is brewed in smaller breweries, not these big corporate machine breweries that we're all aware of. Craft beer takes time and patience, and the people that brew this stuff care about the product they are delivering to us, the consumer, and I couldn't be more grateful. On today's show, I'm reviewing Centennial IPA from Founders Brewing Company, Arabicadabra from Bales Brewery, and Tropical Torpedo from Sierra Nevada Brewing. Now, the show is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify, so don't forget to like and share and tell your friends. But let's kick this show off. And first up on today's show, we have Centennial IPA from Founders Brewing Company out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Centennial IPA has an ABV of 7.2% and a year-round availability. The description from the website says, "Get ready to bask in the glory of the frothy head's floral bouquet. Relish the citrus accents from the abundance of dry hopping. This one's sweet yet balanced, malty undertones shake hands with the hop character for a finish that never turns too bitter." The color of this IPA is a deep amber color with a nice off-white head. There is also a nice amount of lacing to this brew. It sticks to the side of the glass very well. The aroma is rich with hop bitterness mixed with earthy grains and malts. Tasting this beer, it is bold with flavors, lots of deep hop bitterness at first, then a super nice smoothness from the earthy grains and malts. The body of this IPA is a solid medium. There is nothing overpowering about this brew. It has a nice balance to it. It is really hard to pick up on the 7.2% ABV on this beer. It's just that smooth. The mouthfeel is bold, rich, and hoppy. It's very clean, smooth, and refreshing. I would consider this beer a kind that you can have multiple of in one sitting. Founders knocked it out of the park again, as they always do. It's a fantastic IPA, and IPA is probably my favorite style, and this beer is just fantastic. So I'm going to give Centennial IPA from Founders Brewing Company 4 stars. And next up on this week's show is Arabicadabra from Bales Brewery out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. Arabicadabra has an ABV of 5.5% and a fall-time availability. The description from the website says, "Coffee milk stout brewed with 100% Arabica coffee beans, roasted by Ferris Coffee in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Bright, fresh coffee, chocolate roast, full-bodied and made with lactose." This beer pours just like my morning cup of coffee, no cream here either, and has a fingernail of burnt amber at the bottom of the glass. The head is not significant, but there's a persistent float of creamy tan head. The aroma is sharp, acidic coffee, like I just ground some newly opened, extremely fresh medium roast whole bean coffee. Despite the sharpness, it also has a creamy side. I also get toffee, lactose, and graham cracker in the aroma. Taste of this beer, the coffee hits you first, and then the finish is cocoa lactose sweetness. Acidity is higher than most non-sour beers in a coffee sort of way, but isn't too high, which is a pitfall for coffee beers. The flavors are well integrated and balanced. There's sweetness, creaminess, bitterness, strong coffee, and even a little herbal hoppiness in the finish. This beer is thin and refreshing. I realize refreshing is not the word you were expecting to hear about a coffee milk stout, but Arabicadabra has a combination of light body, punchy bitterness, and soft but flooding carbonation that makes it a really good beer, and it manages to be creamy, which is outstanding for this beer. This is a good coffee beer and a good milk stout. Bales is a fantastic brewery, one of my favorites. Everything I try, I have liked, if not loved. This one is no exception, so make sure you try this one out if you can. But I'm going to give Arabicadabra from Bell's Brewery 4 stars. And the last beer on this week's show is Tropical Torpedo Tropical IPA from Sierra Nevada Brewing out of Chico, California. Tropical Torpedo has an ABV of 6% and a year-round availability. The description from the website says, inspired by island life, we created an IPA completely disconnected from the mainland. We used our one-of-a-kind hop torpedo to deliver an intense rush of hop flavor and the lush aromas of mango and passion fruit with every sip. Enjoy our tropical twist on the American IPA. This beer pours a beautiful marigold color, a nice finger worth of head, very frothy. It's got very nice lacing that sticks to the edges of the glass. Aroma is definitely tropical. Pineapples, mangoes that add a tremendous sweetness to this beer. There's a sense of ripeness with just a touch of herbaceousness. Malt is present, so I'm expecting some balance in the taste. And the taste starts off balanced, then the hops grow and grow. The bitterness holds for a bit, then finishes clean, but some of the bitterness remains. There's a good bit of sweetness that pops up throughout the profile that keeps things playful. This is hop forward enough to be a quality IPA, and the fruity sweetness keeps things light and very drinkable. It's probably not a sophisticated beer, but definitely an enjoyable IPA. And Sierra Nevada's been doing it longer than anybody, as far as I know. And I enjoy this beer. I mean, this is something you could drink by the pool. You get the fruitiness and stuff. Makes you feel like you're in Hawaii, I guess. But overall, I'm going to give Tropical Torpedo from Sierra Nevada Brewing 4 stars. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of Brews with Brian. I want to thank everybody for listening. The show continues to grow each and every week, so thank you again. The show is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. So don't forget to tell your friends, like, and share it. If they enjoy craft beer, maybe they'll enjoy listening to some guy talk about it. I want to give a special shout out to Southern Package, my hometown craft beer shop. If you live in Northwest Alabama, you got to check them out. They treat you right. They're wonderful people, and you will not be disappointed. But on this week's show, I reviewed Centennial IPA from Founders Brewing Company, Arabicadabra from Bell's Brewery, and Tropical Torpedo from Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. But that's going to do it for this week's show, and we'll see you next time.